Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very special unboxing video. Today we have, just a few hours ago, made 4,000 public hours, which means we can now be monetized by YouTube, which is a big thank you to all of you, all of the loyal Grand Cat viewers and followers all through the years. It means an awful lot. I don't think we're going to get paid much at the beginning, but just to get that foot in the door is an absolutely huge achievement. And to celebrate this huge achievement, what better way than to celebrate our takeover of the YouTube world than with the dictator who tried to take over the world himself, Bison, also known as Vega in Japan. And of course, we just have a little comparison with the Street Fighter V alternate attire that you can see in the front there, where he's wearing the black and gold, and it's obviously not a traditional one. This Strong Collectibles M. Bison, I got him second hand. I couldn't find him first hand anywhere. It's very difficult to find. And I've had him for a couple of years now, and I've just left him in the box, been waiting to do an unboxing video, and I thought, what better and more perfect time than right now to bring out the big dictator himself, the master of the psycho power, of course, M. Bison. So let's take a quick look at M. Bison himself. I remember back in the old days, it was rumoured that his name was Major Bison. The name was actually, in the original Japanese, he's originally called Vega, and Vega is one of the brightest stars in the galaxy. And M. Bison was actually the name of Balrog, and Balrog was a boxer who looked quite a little bit like Mike Tyson. And in Street Fighter 1, there was a character called Mike who was also a boxer who looked a lot like Balrog. So people assumed that M. Bison was supposed to be Mike Bison, and it was a play on Mike Tyson. So that is where that name comes from. Scat has always been Scat since the very beginning, and Vega was originally named Balrog, and Balrog is a demon in Lord of the Rings. And I think he's got some folklore elsewhere, but I think it's Lord of the Rings is the thing that Balrog is most known for. The Balrog's obviously the thing that fights Gandalf. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's take a look at Big M. Bison. So on the side we have this lovely image of the Street Fighter V M. Bison. On the other side, it is exactly the same image. And we have a little blurb on the back here. So let's take a look at the full back first of all. And now we shall just quickly zoom in just a little bit. And let's see here. Gender male, birthplace unknown. I thought it was Thailand, because that's where you fight him. Height 5'11", taller than me. Weight 247 pounds. Okay, he's almost a wrestler. Blood type A. Likes world domination. Dislikes weaklings and useless subordinates. Job affiliation is the Shadowloo Master, not Shadow Law, Shadowloo, so they got that correct. Skills is Hypnosis. Skills Hypnosis? What's that from? I mean, I guess he kind of has that in the Street Fighter 2 animated movie. And the fighting style is Psycho Power, and Psycho Power, spoiler, is also the same thing as the Hado. Specifically the Satsui no Hado, that they are linked. So that's very interesting. So, M. Bison is the leader of the secret criminal organization Shadowloo. He plans to rule the world using his psycho power. Psycho power is born from fear. Feng, Fang, enacts a plan to grip the world in fear, which would make Bison's power truly peerless. However, Bison himself feels the plan is unnecessary. He is a fighter to the core, and his true objective is to fight against strong opponents. His body is reaching its physical limits, and as such he plans to transfer himself into a new body. Through transferring his mind and soul, Bison's true ambitions are to keep fighting forever. And we see here some very cool images. So exchangeable facial expressions. Special effect parts that recreate the special moves in-game, which is interesting because that's not a special move, that's just his hard fierce, his fierce punch. Kiki, created under the supervision of Capcom Street Fighter V character creator, Mr. Kiki. Oh, that's very nice. It's actually acknowledged by him. Let's look at the bottom ones here that you can't really see. Great articulation and exchangeable parts for various action poses. That's him doing the Nightmare Press. and comes with a figure stand to create dynamic poses so you can make him float or fly. And the rest of it is Strong Collectibles. And on the bottom there, Midway Comics $64.99. I paid way more than $64.99 for this. I feel ripped off. But there we are. But he is a very, very lovely and beautiful figure. And now it's time for us to unbox him. The seal is already cut because obviously this is second hand. So let us see how he looks coming out of the box. The box is a little bit bashed. It arrived that way, and I did not do that. I take better care of my things. And let's take a look at the back of the box before we do anything else. And you can see there that it is the 4 Heavenly Emperors background, which is very cool. You know what, I'm actually going to take this out of here because it does come out. Once again, the box is a little bit bashed, so not my fault. But there, that makes a fantastic backdrop for our little video. So you can see there, going from left to right, is Balrog, M. Bison, Vega, and then Feng, or is it Fang? The new character from Street Fighter 5, because Sagat left the organisation, the 4 Heavenly Emperors, and was replaced by Feng instead. Street Fighter 5 later gave us Scat back, but as a DLC character, and he didn't want to be affiliated with M. Bison any longer. So here we have, this is what we get with M. Bison. Oh, we also have M. Bison Instructions. So let's take a quick glimpse at these. There is the instructions, which seem pretty cool. Oh, that's quite cool, how the arms fold. I think this is the pose I'm going to keep him in. Yeah, cool. It's quite a nice little image, actually. So we'll keep that, and that shall stay over here. And now let's look at what we have. So we'll go from the bottom upwards. So let's look at the base that we have. So at the very bottom, we have the stand, the coat, and, well, the stand itself. You have the base, the stand, and the coat, the secondary coat. The secondary coat is the one we're going to use. And, oh, it's only 2. It's just that this has 2 seals. And you can see the bash there. Look like that bash there. My goodness. And I paid full price for this. But he is very, very rare, so I can't complain. But let us open him up. We'll remove this part and see exactly what Mr. Bison looks like. That's what the M stands for. It's Mr. If there's ever actually been an actual what the M stands for, someone let me know, because I've always been curious. So here we have M. Bison himself. You see that the feet are twisted. They are not supposed to be like that. A lot of... Oh, that is a very loose left arm there. Which is fine. I mean, these are not designed for playing with. So you're just going to stand in a singular pose. That is a little bit of a rip there as well, my goodness. That's what I get for not checking these when I buy them, apparently. My goodness. Well, that's not supposed to be like that. The entire figure is a little bit loose, but we shall accept it. Hoping that it is salvageable, that would be good. I would hate for the 4,000 public hours and getting monetized video to, at this point, find out, hey, your figure's broke, and you should have really looked at this some time ago. The hands haven't been put in the correct places, but that's easy enough for us to fix. There and there, there we go. Nice and simple. Let's take a look at the second part here, this part. So we're going to use this stand, and we're also going to use this part here. So let us bring out the stand first of all. This is the first Strong Collectibles figures that I'm aware of that actually came with a stand like this. This here is the open cape, which is what we're going to be using. And this here is the stand, which it puts me in mind of the Figma stands. I need to look into how this opens before we go breaking it. I can see that part clicks there. It doesn't seem to be on a rail, so I think this part should just come off, but it is a little bit in refusal. That's curious. Oh, this part actually clicks together as well. It's actually spring locked, which is very nice to see. There's a little bit of movement there, but right. So perhaps this is supposed to be like this, and perhaps this part here, yeah, it moves up. It's very tight. There we go. That's how that works. Very good. We are getting there. We are understanding. So let us try clicking this to here. I assume it goes that way. Yeah, clicks in. Perfect. So there we have the stand for Bison. So let's look at how the lower cape works. So we can see from here. So this is interesting. There's no clip here, which makes me question how you're supposed to swap these over. Because with the other Bison, there's a little clip here that you unclip and then you put it back on for the other one. And I think that's maybe what's happened here. I think maybe the person doesn't know how to get this off. So maybe you're just supposed to disconnect at the waist. So let's just pull Bison in half, which doesn't feel nice. I'm just going to try and do it off camera. Nope, that is... He's pretty stiffly on there, and I don't want to go damaging him. You know what? Let's check the instructions. Let's see what the instructions say about swapping over the belt. So yeah, it says there that you separate the body. Oh, not going to hammer. Separate the body, the legs come separate, and then you can swap over between these two. So I was doing it right. It just feels very stiff and feels like it doesn't want to happen, and I was worried about breaking it, but no, Storm Collectibles are supposed to do that. So we can see there's the ball joint underneath. Maybe you can't see it on camera, but I can see it here from a higher view. Just going to take this off camera for just a second. Still a little bit tight. Hang on, let me just pause the video for just a moment. Okay, well, I did it, but not in the way it was supposed to happen. This is what happened, which is actually the leg joints. So let me just very quickly fix that. So we're going to remove this part here. This is the one we're removing. We're keeping this part, but we need to reattach the legs. So this is how the workings of a Storm Collectibles figure works. You can see there, these are the leg joints, which will just clip right back into the ball sockets here. But this is a very interesting working that you can see of the Storm Collectibles figures. So there is the waist joint, that's what it looks like. There is the stump joint. So, very interesting. So let's attach that there. In fact, actually, the whole purpose of this was to attach this part here. So let's do that. And then we attach the wrestling attire, I suppose, the Hulk Hogan trunks, and then we need to click the legs back in, like so, which should happen relatively easily, I think. It should just be a big click, which it is refusing to give me because it is this very awkward angle. You know what, give me a second, I'm just going to do this off camera because it's very difficult. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, did it off camera and it looks absolutely fantastic. So I would gamble that the original owner never actually got this part off and they always stuck with this one, which you can see has ripped. And probably when he realised that it ripped, he was thinking, okay, that's it, I'm just going to stick with this one. But we have managed to get the other lower cape on, which I think is a slightly nicer. It's more of an action pose. It's the same one that I use on my other Bison. So it's very, very cool to see. So before we go looking at the accessories, let's look at the articulation. We'll get rid of this part here. And we'll move the additional pieces just over to the side. And let's take a look at his articulation. So he is very, very cool. Is very, very flexible. So you can see there that the arms have this beautiful butterfly effect. You've got the full shoulder rotation. The shoulders only go out that far because of the big shoulder muscles that, of course, Bison has. He does have the double arm rotation, the double elbow rotation, but it only flexes so far because, once again, big bulging biceps. Of course, the hands are on the little swivel balls. Again here, we've got the double torso, which is very cool. You can get him into some very cool poses. Yeah. And also, I mean, he's very flexible. I mean, so we can rotate the back, we can put the hands together, put them both up like so, and if we rotate the hands like that, and maybe like that, then there you go, a Psycho Crusher. Fantastic. So yeah, let's see what else we can do. We can do his... So the leg flexibility is fantastic. He has the double knee rotation, which looks very cool because the kneecap is actually the metal paladin there. He has the full wrist swivel, and of course he's got the toe pivot as well. And we can have the lower leg come down like so. Then if we rotate the body and we rotate the head downwards, then there is his down hard kick. I'm sure a lot of people hated this move back in the day because it was so easy to do. It was just down and hard kick. And of course we can have Nightmare Press, which if we do something like that, the leg doesn't want to stay up because of the rubber parts pushing it down. But there we go, and Nightmare Press. No, Nightmare Press is the jump one. What is the wheel kick called again? It's called something else. Oh my goodness. I think Nightmare Cannon is one as well. I think that might have been from Street Fighter EX plus Alpha. I vaguely remember Nightmare Cannon. Or maybe it was Psycho Cannon. Yeah, Psycho Cannon. Yeah, that sounds more correct. Nightmare Knee Press was the super. The stomp on the head was called something else. Oh my goodness, I've forgotten my Bison lore. That's atrocious. Whew. Okay, so we've went through his articulation. He looks very cool. He's, Bison has always been very, very strong looking. So let's just put him there on the rotation whilst we look at the other accessories. So his other accessories include, which we're going to use, is the folded arms, which look very cool. And the folded arms do separate with this little bit in the middle. There's no rotation on them, it's just this one solid piece that the two connect from. We have the Psycho Just Power, which is of course his hard punch. I think it's his standing fierce. We have these two little fireballs, which I think actually comes from his intro. I don't think it's actually used in the game. He does do little fireballs by holding back and forward, holding back for 2 seconds and then forward, and like punch, he does his little Psycho Fireball. In the original games, it used to be a Psycho Crusher, but his Psycho Crusher had been changed to his Ultra now. So, in the times of Street Fighter 5, I believe, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, you have the stoic look for Bison there, which is very cool. The faces are really detailed. Of course, he has the grey hair because of the Street Fighter 5 version. If it's the Street Fighter 2 version, you would have black hair. And then you have the patented Bison grin, which is what I'm using on the other figure. I think it's the exact same face. We have 2 sets of identical open hands. We have 2 sets of... Oh, we have 2 sets of psycho hands. Oh, now that looks pretty awesome, actually. So that's for holding the psycho energy. No, we're going to need to try that out. You have 2 slightly gripping hands, more kind of pointing hands, I suppose, more than anything else. And lastly, we just have 2 kind of open grip hands, which is a little bit different from the other one. The fingers are more straight out. The difference between these ones is the fingers come in, and this one the fingers are straight. So that is the difference between those hands there. You have your 8 different sets of hands, your 2 different sets of heads, your 2 fireballs, your 1 big punch move, and of course your folded arms. So let's take a quick look and see what we can do with changing some of this over. We'll stop the rotation, and we'll move this to the side, and we'll see what we can do. So first of all, let's swap the head over. You might notice that we only have 1 hat, so the hat does change. So to pop the head off, literally just a little push like that, the hat just comes straight off like so. And then let's replace this with the stoic face, which I think is going to look kind of cool. And the hat literally just clips right back on. A nice snug fit. And there you have the very stoic look for Bison. Like, that's Bison's moods. Bison is either really stoic, doesn't care about anything, has no interest, or he's about to start fighting and he's like the happiest guy on the planet when he does. I would really love to know the backstory to Bison, because I think it would be very interesting. The next thing we're going to do is, because I've only just discovered these psycho hands, is we're going to look at those. But before we do, since we've got the fists already on, let's see what this looks like when it's attached to him. So let's get him into a bit of a pose. And this should just fit across the hand. It's a bit, it's a bit stiffer than I thought it would be. Like, okay, so maybe that goes across like that. Yeah, okay. No, that isn't very... This looks like it's designed for another hand. It doesn't look like it's designed for the fist. So that's curious. Let me try another hand. Let's go for this open hand. Yeah, okay, so this is designed for an open palm that you can see there, that it goes right in like so. So it doesn't work with a closed fist. So let's just pull that off, equip the other one on, like so. There you have the psycho hand, and clip that on, like that. And there, that looks pretty cool. So if we get him into a little bit of a pose, as such, maybe get him to lean in a little bit, strong closer, crouch in, and then just prepare big old haymaker. And yeah, that looks pretty cool, I think. That's pretty neat. Let's do a little rotation of that. Looks very nice. I mean, I love that any pose that you put Bison in he looks like Bison. You know, that is very, very cool. That's a very kind of iconic kind of look. I mean, this could be almost a statue. You know, I mean, it's a statue with flexibility. That's what strong collectible figures really are. They are really up there just in terms of quality and how they look. They're everything about them. Like, that is very, very cool looking. I know I keep shaking the camera because the metal bar is right in front of me. So the next thing we want to try is we want to remove this. We'll replace this hand with the other one. So we have the two open palms. We're going to put the feet together, maybe one kind of in front of the other, like that. Put the hands out, rotate them just a little bit. Back up straight, head up, face camera, and then add the fireballs. So I don't know if the fireballs grip. I think they literally just place. Yep. Just like that, and just like that. And there you go. There you've got a very cool intro level for M. Bison, which is very nice looking actually. And the last one, which is the one that I really want to see, because this is the one that I want to equip with. When I bought this figure, this was the vision that I had in my mind, was to have the folded arms. Now I imagine that the folded arms are going to be very, very difficult to get them to pose properly, but we're going to try it. So this comes off the shoulder here, which means that everything is going to fall off here. So just be aware of that ahead of time, that you know what you're doing. Oh, actually it didn't fall off. That's quite cool. The shoulder just came off exactly like that. So we're going to equip this one into here, which looks a bit silly when it's by itself. Did that clip in? I guess so. It doesn't feel like it clipped in, but it did. And then we have to pull. Oh my goodness, that one came out a lot easier than the other one. So I used a bit more force than what was required. And then that should also just clip in, like so. And it feels like they have. And then it's just a case of folding the arms around, getting them to line up, then press it in, and once again, head down, shoulders back, body forward. There we go. That looks very, very cool. I mean, that by itself could be, you know, a statue of Bison. The way that the muscles are defined, the flowing cape, everything about it, it looks really cool. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put him into a floating pose. Oh, there, that is how easily the feet come off. But again, don't worry if your feet come off. Everything in Strong Collectibles can be detached. They are very good quality, very high quality for that exact thing. We're going to bend this knee, but we're not going to show the red under the knee. Just going to bend it at the top like so. This leg is going to come in front of the other one. This one's going to come like this. The legs are going to fold over just a little bit. I'm going to turn the legs like so, so that we have that illusion of the feet floating. Now, unfortunately, Bison does have very, very thick, and that's with a double C, legs. So it's going to be difficult to get the feet close to each other. I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to bend the knee round a little bit and then put a thumb in here and then keep that pauldron down just a bit to get that kind of pose. The feet should both be facing the same direction. And there we go, with a little bit of work. That is how you make a floating kind of thing. It's easier if you move one foot back and then rotate the other one So this is a pretty cool pose. It's one that is used quite a lot by the likes of like flying superheroes, you know, generally like Superman and that kind of thing, especially with the folded arms and the flowing cape and etc. Looks very cool. I'm going to put this like here, and now we're going to test this little bit up here. Actually, I'll do it here on camera. So these two bits should come apart, and then they should just click in together and hold Bison in place around the belt exactly like so. And there you have a flying Bison that is just off camera. And now we're going to do one last rotation, and that will mark the end of our video. So that is our Street Fighter V Bison. He's very, very cool looking, and once again, thank you all for 4,000 public hours, which is an incredible achievement. I've been at YouTube for quite a while, but we've only really started doing it properly in the past couple of years or so. I know I do a lot of videos. I do unboxings, I do WWE Supercard, I do Vanguard, I do Vanguard Zero, Vanguard in the shop. We do Yu-Gi-Oh! Speed Duels in the shop. We do a lot of board games in the shop. You know, it is not just one thing. I know that if we stuck to just doing one thing, we'd probably get more views and probably more subscribers, but I never wanted to do that. I always wanted to do my own thing and just upload all the stuff that I care about and all the stuff that I love, and it means so much to me that you guys have supported that to the point that we can now get our actual monetization, which is absolutely wonderful. So a big thank you to everyone out there. A big thank you to everyone who's ever supported the channel. It really does mean a lot to me. I don't have the words to describe how much it means. And all I can give you is this unboxing of this very lovely, beautiful, the Dictator M. Bison himself. And just as one last thing, we will very quickly just do a quick comparison with the alternate outfit of Bison, who comes with a different accessory, a different psycho ability, and there we go. So thank you once again for helping the Grand Cat channel. Join us in our global and world domination of YouTube, which may not go very far, but for our little unique niche area on YouTube, I think we're doing pretty okay. And that is heading off the background, but it's fine. It's going to make through. There we are. Professional YouTuber, what are you talking about? I've never heard of such a thing. So that is going to be it for this video. Once again, folks, thank you everyone, one and all, and we will see you all in the next video. If you aren't subscribed, click that subscribe button. If you are subscribed, make sure you click that notification icon so you can see when more of these videos go up. Remember to leave a comment. You can always get a chance of winning a prize worth £100 if you get 3 of your comments read on the comments of the week. Sometimes I get a little bit forgetful about the comment of the week. Sometimes I just don't see a comment that I think is good enough to read out. But I do try to go around doing it. And we do have those prizes. Those prizes do exist, so do leave those comments, do leave those likes, do leave those subscribes, and check out our other videos. That is what helps the channel the most, by watching all of our different videos. And by helping out, you have managed to get us to this point in history. So thank you once again. And we will see you all in the next video. Goodbye, everybody.